welcome back to the Tasselfairy channel. Today we're doing something that you have all been asking for. It's my very first Tasselfairy tutorial. Yay! And guess what we're gonna be tutorialing? No. Guess what I'm gonna teach you today? We're gonna talk all about yarn braids. Yes, we're gonna talk about how to install them, how to care for them, and basically all of the wonderful things that I've discovered from wearing them for about 2 years or so. All right, ready to get this party started? Let's go. Who knows what's in my sippy cup? It could be water. Well, no, that's some pink water. It's probably Moscato, just saying. Anyway, it's been a rough day, guys. Yeah, so a lot of you have been asking me many questions about my hair, like what is it? Or where do I get that color hair from? Well, it's not hair, it's yarn. So I've been wearing box braids, these guys, for lots of years, like maybe 20 years. 10, just kidding, I didn't say 20. Oh my God, but I've always kind of changed styles and like rotated my styles. So I would, you know, try something new with my hair. I shaved my head once, motorcycle, car, I don't know. I shaved my head once. I did like all kinds of different weaves. I've never tried a wig. I gotta try that. I think I need some wigs. But anyway, I've done just about everything under the sun, like to my hair. I dyed it, bleached it. I was platinum blonde for a while. And then I really wanted to have like pastel colored hair because, as you know, in my heart, I'm just a unicorn and all unicorns need colorful hair. Hello. So the way I discovered yarn braids is I was seeing these girls with these really like pigmented hair, like in braids, and I had never seen braid hair in those kind of colors. So I was like, what the hell? Like, where are these colors coming from? Where do they get them? And after like going like really deep in Tumblr and lots of Googling, I discovered that it was just yarn. So what did I do? Like the next day, I went out and got myself some pastel pink yarn and made it happen. And the rest is just history. So, do you want to find out how you can have whatever color hair you want without paying a ton of money? Let's try not to curse so much. It's time for the first Tasselfairy tutorial all about yarn braids. Hey, Lauren, what time is it?
I don't know.
It's yarn o'clock! It's yarn time! Yeah! Okay. I'm such a dork. So, what we have here are some of my favorite yarns to use for yarn braids. This, if you're at all like crafty, do any knitting. Oh man. If you do any knitting, something's happening down there. That's intense. If you do any knitting, if you do any crocheting, or if you do any kind of like fiber things, you have to know about this brand, Red Heart. This is like very basic. You can get it from like every craft shop ever, and it's like probably the cheapest. So let's talk about the kind of yarns that you should use for yarn braids. You should absolutely use acrylic yarn. Like 100% acrylic is probably the best idea. Although if you have like acrylic with a little bit of wool or a little bit of something else, it's okay. But you want it to be mostly acrylic. And there are many reasons for this. Like, I think these are all 100% acrylic. This is not, I don't know what brand this is, but, so like, let me do that. So yeah, they should definitely all be acrylic though. And the reason being is, for one, if you have kinkier hair like me, I'm black, my hair is like very kinky, and like wool, especially or any of the natural fibers are so similar to my hair texture that if I left it in for a long period of time, which braids, I mean, I tend to leave my braids in for like a couple months, and if I left my braids in for that long, I'm pretty sure that that wool would like become one with my hair. Like that. You don't want that. Because then, I mean, if you're trying to start like dreads or something, maybe, but for this purpose and you want to get it out, it's a bad idea. No wool. And then the other reason, that's probably the biggest reason, is that in order to seal off your yarn braids, you're going to need to burn the actual braid once it's finished. And if you've ever tried to burn a natural fiber, it's not good. It's really stinky, and you will actually catch your hair on fire, like actual flames. When you burn an acrylic or like synthetic fiber that's like plasticky, like this acrylic yarn, you get like this finished end, and it melts so that you can mold it into like a finished little end here, which I'll show you. But yeah, so you don't have to burn them. You can tie them in a knot and have like little yarn fringe hanging like this, and like trim it to make it neat. Hey guys. Okay, you can have it like this and like just trim it really close if you don't want to like mess around with the flame, you know what I'm saying? But I'll show you how I do it, and you can just make the call from there. I personally have always burned the ends when I've done yarn braids. I just like how it looks better. So let's talk about the different sizes of the yarn. Basically, there are different like yarn weights or gauges, and the one I typically go for is a 4. Now there are some variations in between the 4 from like one brand to another or one yarn to another. Like for example, this guy here, this Lion brand, which I used maybe like, whenever I had my hair all aqua, I used this guy, and it's much finer. It's much finer. Well, these are like basically the same, even though they're different brands. I learned that. This guy is much finer than say this guy. So that makes a big difference because your braid will come out substantially smaller if you're trying to go for a certain size, and that's important. I'll show you why, but yeah, it is. So that is one of the things that is really key when you're looking for the yarn that you're going to pick out a yarn with the gauge that you're going for, and they go up to like 4, 5, 6. I don't know, I've never tried anything really thick or crazy because I've always liked for them to be like individuals, as they are called, to be thinner because it makes it more versatile and easy to like style. Like, I don't think I could rock this unicorn bun if they were like super, it would be something else, you know what I mean? So, yes. So I've taken out some of my braids in the front so that I can show you how this is done. As you can see, my natural hair is like so. I've seen in a lot of tutorials and a lot of different, like, well, for yarn braids, for box braids, because essentially they're the same thing except just using a different material. I've seen a lot of tutorials, people add like hair goop. I call everything goop, but hair goop or like moisturizer, leave-in moisturizer, some kind of oil. I personally don't like to do that. I've never really done that in all of the years that I've braided my hair, and my hair is pretty dry, actually, like naturally dry. I don't really feel the need to do that as I braid because I don't like how messy it gets, and I particularly don't like what happens with the lighter colors of yarn. Like, it gets kind of like dirty, and you can really see it like the minute after you apply the yarn to your hair. So what I suggest is start with a clean head of hair. Wash your hair really well and then condition it. Do maybe like a leave-in conditioner treatment, and then even just like moisturize it, how, like, whatever your regimen is. I would suggest doing all of that beforehand, just to give yourself some time so that there's not a bunch of like residue and actual product on your you're not applying actual product as you go, because that's my personal preference. I mean, that's just, I don't like it. So yeah, you don't really need anything. So these little clips, or any kind of like clip to section off the hair, is very helpful. I do suggest those in addition to scissors and yarn. And maybe like a good book, some television. You can't really read a book, just kidding. So what you want to do, reality TV. I always watch reality TV when I'm doing like a long hair sesh, just to see people act a fool. It's always fun. Distracts me from my suffering. Because it takes forever, you guys, like so long. So what you want to do is you want to take a small section of your hair, and the section that you grab really, or that you part, really depends, oh, princess. Really depends on how thick your braids are going to be. Like I said, my braids are pretty thin. So I want to try to grab a section of hair that like mimics the size of the yarn. And it would be the same if you were like using synthetic hair or any kind of hair to add. Special announcement! I bet you all want to know who won the awesome giveaway. Well, we picked a winner. I don't know. Can we guess? Who is it? Who is it? Well, the lucky person is called Kitty Bob. Yay! Congratulations, Kitty Bob. Yay! You're the winner. You're the winner. Why do I shoot? If your name is Kitty Bob, you have won so much awesome stuff. All right. I don't know what that is. Okay, you can't put this in. It's so lame. Like, what is that? Like, all right. Can you even see that I'm dancing? Like, yay! I don't know. That wasn't even a good vote. Like, go Kitty Bob. It's your birthday. Maybe it's not, but it's really great. Woo! I also like really kind of eyeball like how long I want it to be, because I've been doing this for so long. But a great way to measure is to just try, let's do this together. Try one strand of yarn, you know, and like go, oh, I'm gonna put it here. And then like, how long does that go? Woo, all the way down there? That's too long. I don't want it to be to my feet. Oh my God. So you can just kind of eyeball it and see, because once you braid, some of it's going to, you're gonna lose some of the length. So you wanna do it like a little bit longer than what you actually want your braid length to be. And a great way to do it is just to start out with it being really long, like maybe cut a couple strands that are really long, and then like adjust it as you go. And then once you have your perfect length, like save like one strand of yarn or something. So it needs to look like this. So this counts as one strand. You see how long it is? And you're gonna fold it in half. So I use a total of 3, fold it in half just like this. So I had 3 prepared already, but I kind of flubbed that up a little bit. So let's just make some really quick. Okay, I don't know. And like my hair is kind of random with the color, as you can tell. So I just like kind of randomize the color. Just pick like, what's my mood today? Am I feeling a little lilac? Am I feeling a little hot pink? What am I feeling like? Today, right in this exact moment, I'm feeling like this really awesome neon pink and this like mermaid thing. And what is extremely helpful is once you have your measurement of how long your yarn's gonna be, is to cut them in advance. Let me tell you, it takes forever to like get one and then do 3 more and then get one and braid, it's gonna take you like your entire life. I've done it that way, so I know. Okay, so this is what you do. You take your 3 strands and you part them in half like so to make a little loop. You see how they're making a little loop? So they're kind of like one like chunk of stuff. And you take your actual hair, and if you've ever braided before, you know that you need 3 strands to braid. Well, your natural hair becomes the 3rd strand. So you just put it on there and you literally just start braiding. That is all you're freaking doing. Oh my gosh, that's it. Swear. Like, yay. So now you get to see my spider hands in action. And what you want to do is, once you're running out of your own hair, it may take some of us longer than others, is you create the 3rd strand from the yarn. So you take the little piece of your hair and 2 strands in the middle, and then you just keep going like that. Braiding, braiding. That's the thing when they're really long, they kind of get tangled. So you want to like make sure when you braid that you're separating this stuff as you go. Otherwise, it's gonna get super tangled and you're gonna hate life. Because there's nothing worse than a knot when you're trying to make yourself look all cute. So let's talk about a lot of questions that I get about yarn braids and just the care for them in general. The first thing I get asked a lot is, can you wash them? And the answer to that is no. You have to have stinky hair. Just kidding, you can totally wash them. But here's the thing, they're really freaking heavy if you get them wet. It's like, think about wetting your favorite sweater that your grandma knit from you. Well, I don't even know. But like, just think about wetting anything like that soaks up a lot of water. It's gonna be freaking heavy. The one thing I would suggest is washing your scalp only. And the way that you can do that is you can, a cool trick is to take your hair into 2 ponytails, like, you know, like that. Well, like the whole thing though, and just going under a sink or something that has like a detachable like spigot. What is it? A detachable head or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Something that's freaking detachable. So, sprinklers? I don't know. No, okay. So, but going and like with the sink, if you have a detachable piece on the sink, you can totally put your hair into like maybe 2 ponytails or like 4 sections or something, and just only wash like the actual, oh my god, is that dust? Oh my god. Only wash like the actual scalp and like the base of your hair so that you get all the like buildup or whatever it is and you keep your hair nice and clean. And then another question I get is, can you moisturize while you have your braids in? I actually don't. I don't know whether or not I should, but I don't often. I only do like maybe maybe every once in a while I'll put in like a little bit of like leave-in kind of around the scalp and like whatever. I don't like oils when I have braids, especially when I have yarn braids, because again, it's really easy for the actual yarn itself to get so like, it's like if you've ever had pastel hair, really light hair, you understand like sometimes if you use products that are like colorful or like heavy, they can change the color of your hair. And so the name of the game for me is keeping this and preserving all of this hard work for as long as possible, let me tell you. So that's the thing. So yes, you can moisturize, but just be careful to get the scalp, and yes, you can wash. But unless you want your neck to be like this forever, because it's so heavy, I would suggest only washing like your head, like the scalp. One thing you can totally do is get like a towel, like a damp towel, and just go over the braids with like a damp towel, or put a little product in it, or like a little like shampoo or something, or I don't know. But like I actually just use water and just take a damp towel and like, and then sometimes I'll like spritz like rose water a little bit to like freshen it up so that it stays yummy. What is very important is that you don't want to pick too small of a section, because if it's like too small and your yarn is like too thick, then it's gonna break your hair. It's gonna create like a lot of weight on your hair, and you don't, especially around your more like sensitive areas, you don't want that much weight on your hair. So other than the occasional washing and moisturizing, that is probably what is most important. You don't want to keep your braids in longer than a month or two. And even, I mean, my hair grows pretty fast, so I actually take out big sections and redo them all the time, and like then I can really get in there and like wash that section, moisturize that section, and just redo them, because my braids grow, or my hair grows so much while they're in the braids that they start looking kind of crazy, kind of like at the top here, you know. But yeah, like they're pretty once you get them in and go through the long period of time, depending on how thick you actually do your braids. They're really very convenient, and you just get up and go. Put them in a little bun, in a unicorn bun, let them hang, do like whatever, and yeah, it's a super awesome style, and it's actually great for your hair. It's been really great for my hair type, because I found that these yarn braids help to retain a lot of moisture, because they soak in like something about like they soak in like all that, they absorb. So I feel like my hair has been less dry than when I've done other kinds of like traditional hair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as different hair textures are concerned, you really want to be careful what thickness of yarn you're using, or how much yarn you're using. Really, when you're doing thinner braids like this, it starts getting tricky, but if you're doing really fat braids and you're using a big chunk of hair, then probably any gauge or texture should be fine. But if you're doing finer braids like this, you really want to make sure, if you have very thin or fine hair, that you're using a larger section of hair to each like piece of yarn. Does that make sense? Another thing is, when it's time to take them out, all you have to do, because you can probably see your own hair in there, or see where your hair ends, all you have to do is like clip below where your hair ends, and depending on how long your hair is, it could be hell. Because if your hair is really long and your braids are really long, you're gonna have to like unravel like all of that yarn. But it's basically really simple. It's just like a matter of like unbraiding it. So you cut it and it like opens, and you just, you know, like undo it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm gonna just show you how to burn the ends. You want to make sure that like nothing is there that will actually catch on fire. So what I've done is I've braided down to like the desired length. Well, it helps if you stand up, because you can tell, like I have so many braids already that I know how long I want it to be, but it helps if you stand up, because then you get the full like idea of how long your hair really is. So I take this I make a little loop with the braid, and then I take the lighter. These lighters are my personal favorite. Then you just burn it until you start to see it turn like black. You pull that end part off. It's gonna stink a little, and you wait till it's slightly cool, and you just twist it. And now it's sealed for life. Yeah, see, it's pretty easy. You want to be careful because if you let it go for too long, like I almost let it go for too long, like almost, but if you let it go for too long, you can actually burn yourself. It is not fun because what will happen is the acrylic yarn will start to like mold to your hand if you touch it. What I'm describing is not pretty, so just be careful and take a light touch once you've pulled that other piece apart and see if it's like super hot, you know, and just like give it a second. But it pulls off so quickly. But yeah, that's what you do. And then you have a finished braid. I want to know who's gonna freaking do this because I'm really excited to see if anyone's still I don't know. There's always like some imaginary thing flying in my face. Whatever. So yeah, okay, so here we go. If you have questions that I did not answer in this tutorial, I'm going to do a follow-up periscope if there's enough questions. So this is what you do. Leave those questions below in the comments. Anything that you want to know about box braids, yarn braids, care, anything I didn't really go over, feel free to ask because I've been doing this for so long that it's kind of like just like I forget, you know, like things are kind of like innate for me. Like I just do it like second nature. So if you have questions, definitely ask, and then I will be announcing when I'll do the periscope either on my Instagram or Twitter. So be sure you follow me if you're not already following me on Periscope at Studio Moochie. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. There's no but. I don't know why I said but. But yeah, that's what you should do because Periscope's kind of fun. So there you go. All right, unicorns. Thanks so much for catching my very first Tasselfairy tutorial. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you can go and actually get your own yarn braids cracking. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what you all do. Yay! Have a magical day!